Okay, let's go back, because right now I'm an author. I've got my active submissions here. I need to change hats here, so I go back to my user home, and I've got another role of reviewer. Now I can either go click on reviewer and go to that reviewer role, or I can click on, I can go here to this, directly to this active. They both go to the same page, okay? And on this archive, I can see any that I've finished in the archive list, and I'll show you when I get done with this. So I've got one review waiting for me. Let's see, where did I have that? Never mind. Okay, so I'm here. So I received an email that that told me that I had a review waiting for me. I had queued that up. Let's see. Yeah. So I got this message from the OJS system that said I would be an excellent reviewer of the manuscript. Don't let this get to your head. If you get one of these, everybody is an excellent reviewer of a manuscript for EDIS. So it tells me that I'd be an excellent reviewer. It gives me, it'll link to the abstract down at the bottom. Let's see here. It's going to tell me that it wants me to log in within a week to indicate that I'll undertake the review. It tells me where the website is, although UF obscures that. It's the journals.fcla.edu/EDIS. And it tells me that the review itself is due, and the default is in 2 weeks. So generally it's going to ask you to log into for 1 week and to finish the review in 2 weeks. If you cannot do the review, please get back as soon as possible and let the section editor know that you can't do it. And if you can do it as soon as you can. That way we can get these moving quickly. You will appreciate this when you're an author waiting for the reviews to go through. Okay, so there's also a link here, that will allow you to, right from this email, reset your password, because a lot of people don't remember their passwords in between. And this link here is probably the more important one. This will take you directly to that review. So, so you can go ahead and click right here on this email, this link here, and it will take you blah 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 directly to the review page for this submission. Now, if I go back to that submission list where I was logged in as a reviewer, I see this list. If I click on this, it will take me to the same, exactly the same page. Okay. So, so there's 5 steps in a review. Let me go back to that list. Just like the authors, you can sort your list of reviewed publications. You can see which department it's in. And this will tell you when they're due and what round it's in. So if you happen to have a lot of review requests, you can manage your workload that way. Let's go back to the review page. Okay. As a reviewer, so you have a lot simpler page than the author, and as an author. You can click through to view some of the metadata. You don't get to see quite as much, not very much at all. You can see the subject, keywords, and language. So you can see there's not very much that's given to you as metadata. Use your breadcrumbs to get back there. Okay. One of the frustrating things for reviewers is that it locks you into going through the review steps in order. You have to say that you will do the review before it will allow you. I don't even know if it will allow you. It will allow you to download the manuscript before you say whether you will do it or not. It will not allow you to review. Like, you can click on this all day long and nothing will happen. You can't upload a file. It's grayed out, and you can't make a recommendation. So instead of telling you that it's not letting you do that, it just doesn't let you do it. So you have to say, yes, I'll do the review. And this will open up the email form, and you just click send, and it will tell tell the editor that you have accepted the review. If you don't want to do the review, send the response that says, sorry, I can't. And you don't even have to write anything. You just click send, and it will send that response. Okay, so now that I've completed step 1, and it says here response accepted, now I'm able to fill out the review of the submission, and I can also, if I wanted to, I could cancel this. I could upload a file. So let's say if I download the manuscript here, and I can track changes in the manuscript, and then I can upload those track changes. I don't want to do that. Stop that. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So when you click on it popped up, but I don't think they saw it, did they? Okay. So I want to Chrome there. No, this one. Okay. So this popped up a pop-up window for the review, which I'm going to show you. Here we go. So this is the form. This is a generic form, which is the basic one. This will most of the departments for peer reviewers will give you a set of instructions, but the input will be exactly the same. There are 2 fields. One is a field that will go to the author and the editor. So anything you type in this field will go to the author, will be able to see. This bottom field will go only to the editor. Sorry, this one here will go only to the editor. And anything you type there will only be seen by the editor. And you can type anything or nothing. When you save that and close it. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Share screen. And there. Okay. So now that I've saved that, if I open up the pop-up window again, this shows up, and you can see that it's been recorded. You could actually, if it's a long manuscript submission that you're looking at, you can actually come back and put multiple comments over and over again using the review form. Okay. Am I back? Okay. All right. So we'll try not to do that again. Okay. So if that might be too cumbersome, maybe a better way is to track your changes. And some of the editors really prefer that reviewers track their changes. So you've downloaded your manuscript, you've tracked your changes. You can anonymize those changes using the technique that I showed you earlier. Choose your file, select it in Windows Explorer or the Apple Explorer, whatever file. Yep, and then upload it. And then, do one or the other. And then the last step is to choose a recommendation. Now, if as a reviewer you fill out the form or upload a file but do not choose a recommendation, the editor is never notified that the review is done, and the review is never recorded as done. So it can take a while before someone figures out that you didn't actually finish the review. So make sure that you finish these steps all the way through to step 5 and submit your review to the editor. The other thing to be aware of is that once you submit the review to the editor, you're done and you can't make any changes to it. So you have some choices. You can accept recommend that the submission be accepted, that revisions be required, that it be resubmitted for review, that it be resubmitted elsewhere. You can recommend it be declined, or you can say see comments. Probably the resubmit for review, generally I interpret as that you think it should be, you'd like to see it again as a reviewer. And revisions required, generally I interpret as meaning you recommend revisions, but you don't need to see it again. you can work out the finer points if you're not sure with your editor, because you're essentially communicating with them. And then once you've finished that, you can go ahead and submit your review to the editor. You'll get a pop-up window, which I'm not going to, oh, it shows you, right? Okay, an alert which says you'll no longer be able to make changes. That includes you will not be able to upload your file. So do make sure that your file is attached, because once you've submitted your final decision, if you have that file that you've worked to mark up, we can't really attach it to your specific review very effectively after you've submitted the final decision. So go ahead and click OK when you're done. And then you get a chance to send an email, and this goes to the editor. So you can send a copy to yourself, because it won't be coming from you from Outlook. So if you send a copy to yourself, you'll have a record in your email. And it just says what your recommendation is. So I'm going to go ahead and send that. All right. And now it tells you, it just sends it back to what you did. You've got some dates here when your review was submitted. And if we go back to your review list, there'll be nothing in your active list because you finished it, and it will show up in your archive list, and it will tell you what your review was, that you said you wanted to accept the submission. Thank you, everybody. I hope this has been helpful to have this walkthrough. If any of you would like me to walk this through with you in Zoom or over the phone, if you get to a sticking point where you're trying to figure out what goes next, I know sometimes the screens can be difficult to interpret. You can give me a call. We can work with your section editor because they've got a lot more experience working with it, because the section editor job is pretty tough. If you're an editor, if you're asked to review, please do get those reviews in quickly so that we can get those moving along. It's challenging to juggle all of the submissions. We've got about 160 going at submissions that we're working on at now at any given time. So you guys are working hard on these publications, and it's been great working with everyone. I'm looking forward to working with y'all in the coming year.